Hi, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Season 2 of Rising Stories podcast. I'm Corrine Sandifer, your host. As a business and life coach working with local business owners, I started this podcast to help empower some of my clients, to let them hear from other business owners and learn their tips, struggles, and keys to success. It's been my hope that by hearing how they overcame their issues, it would help you conquer your own challenges. But guys, now this podcast has grown with a much larger vision of sharing women's stories from all walks of life. We are in Season 2, and this season you'll hear from some of the most influential women in Nashville, Tennessee. I chose to feature the women in my city for two reasons. One is that Nashville has become the it city, and we are growing by leaps and bounds. But not only that, Nashville was voted the #1 best city for women business owners. So now I am taking Rising Stories on the road all over the city to capture the essence and moxie of these women. Our first guest is everyone's girlfriend and go-to gal for all the things. Landyn Hutchinson of Living with Landyn is one, if not the biggest influencers here in the Nashville area. She shares her life with us on her Instagram stories and her website. Landyn will show you how to make a delicious meal for our families. She tells us what to wear for each occasion, and she even tells us where to buy spring flowers for our flower beds. In this interview, we will chat about how she ended up being a lifestyle blogger and what a lifestyle blogger does. She is a girl's girl, and you will love this interview with her. But before we begin, I want to tell you about an awesome service to help your high school student who is having trouble choosing a major. You know, deciding on a major or a career path can be very overwhelming, especially someone right out of high school. Choosing a college major, if made hastily, can lead to switching majors, prolonging your college career, and possibly working in a job for all the wrong reasons. The coaches at CareerFocusedForYou.com are working with students and anyone in need of career direction to help them find that place where their skills meet their passions. Finding that career or that major that feels like it was made just for you. You can call Career Focused for You today to set up your free strategy session. Their number is 615-933-9380. Don't worry about jotting it down. It will be in the show notes description and on the show notes at CorineSandifer.com. And now on with the interview. I will say that because we were crunched for time, our connection with Landyn was not the best, but we just had to go with it. So please excuse the glitches here and there. Here is my conversation with Landyn. Hi, Landyn.
Well, hi. How are you?
Good. Good morning or good afternoon. I can't remember. You're still in the States, right? I keep thinking that you're out of the country.
Well, wouldn't that be fun? I'd love to be out of the country. No, I'm actually in Minneapolis in the Midwest here doing some work.
Awesome. So, how do you describe yourself? You're a lifestyle blogger, but gosh, you're just so much more. I can't even describe to my audience what all the things that you do.
All the things. Oh my goodness. I know. That's a question I get asked quite often, is just almost like, even what I prefer to do, whether that's like cooking and makeup and fashion and interior design. I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I guess, a lifestyle blogger. I feel like I'm getting a little away from that. I never really knew what a blog was anyway. I guess I'm becoming more of a brand, more of a, not a household name. I mean, that would be my hopes at some point, but it seems to be catching on like wildfire. And I meet people, in a parking lot. I meet them at the grocery store. I meet them in the airport. So it's kind of crazy how things have really taken off for me. So, yeah, I'm just a girl's girl. I'm your best friend. I'm the going to ask when you're looking for a recipe or when you need some advice. And it's been very, very magical the way that people have flock me in this way. So it's neat. I'm not really sure what to call it. It's kind of magic, like I said.
Yeah, I mean, and what's interesting is I think you are a household name. I mean, I watch some of your Instagram stories, and all across the country there are women that are listening to you. You know, like you said before in one of your interviews, you were like, before you go to bed, and then the first thing in the morning they're like, oh, I would just play with my phone, on a Saturday morning, and you're listening to Landyn and what she's doing. So you kind of are a household name, and I think you're just going to get bigger and bigger. But most people don't know what a lifestyle blogger is, and so let's kind of talk a little bit about that, because for those people who don't know what that entails, it's kind of a lot of things.
Yes, it is. It's all the things. My catchphrase, all the things. And if you start following me, you'll know exactly what that means over a little bit of time. A lifestyle blogger, let's see, just get back to how I got started, help people a little bit. I was always stopped on the street, like, where did you get your shirt? Or where do you get your hair cut? And then I had my girlfriends emailing me and texting, like, hey, I need a really quick dinner, or I'm going to a party and I need to bring an appetizer. What do you think? I seem to be that woman, that girlfriend for a lot of people in my life, and even strangers. And then one of my girlfriends suggested that maybe I put it somewhere, and I'm like, what does that mean? is
Mm-hmm.
what is a blog? I honestly had no idea what that was. So I wasn't even on Facebook, and my brother suggested that I get on Facebook. My grandmother was on Facebook. He was like, you got to get with the times. I'm like, I am way too old for this. So I did start a Facebook page, and I decided to call it Living with Landyn. And I was asked the other day how I came up with the name. And that is a funny thing. I've racked my brain, and I just really don't know where I ended up pulling that from. But I think it was because I did love so many things. And it is just the day in a life with me. And so I scrounged up enough money by selling my clothes on Instagram. And I was able to afford, someone to help make me a website. And then from there, and that was a year ago in April. So it's really, really happened very, very fast. But it's just a place where I document my daily, comings and goings, recipes. There's home decor ideas. There's fashion. Yeah, so just a little bit of everything. It's just a nice little melting pot, just life. I think just relatable content.
You are just a natural, and you are very, you have this, I guess, a persona. Like, not everyone is made to be in front of a camera or speaking, but it just comes so naturally to you. What is it about you that you think has attributed to the fact that you're just a natural at this?
Well, my mom tells me, I think we were talking about this the other day. She's like, Landyn, you have always been this way. You've always had a very positive personality, an outlook on life. You always see things, the glass is definitely, half full. And it's just the way I look at things. I think that life's full of such negativity, and I just choose to look at things that way and make the best out of it. And you're so right. I really am just a girl, another woman, just like the rest of us, just trying to get our lives together, stay on track, get a meal on the table, get our kids out the door, love on our husband, our spouse, boyfriend, whatever it is, just kind of keep that that home base tight and right, as I call it, just kind of keeping everything together. And I think just being real, and Insta stories on Instagram, which I was late to the Instagram game, was, I think, gave people really a look into my daily life, and just the realness and the authenticity, and just the good and the ugly. Like, I will show you when I burn a dinner. I think that's important. I mean, life is not perfect, and things don't
Mm-hmm.
go as planned. And I am a representation of that, what, I say we're all the same, just with different colored hair. I mean, we really
Yes.
are the same person, just trying. And I think a lot of, there's a lot of knocking each other down. And my brand is very much about empowering women
Mm-hmm.
and help them know that it's okay to fail, and giving them permission to do just that, to be like, I messed up dinner. All right, we're going out or we're getting pizza. It's okay. It happens to me too. And I think Instagram can give a lot of falsehood with those 9 squares are really beautiful and edited. And, and people are like, oh my gosh, you must have it together. I am the first one to tell you I do not have it together. And I think that is why people are drawn to me, because it's relatable content. I mean, it is real life. And I don't believe in putting makeup on before I get on my Insta stories every time. Half the time, I mean, I just rolled out of bed with my coffee, like, all right, guys, what are we going to do today?
Yeah, yeah.
And I had an event last night here in Minneapolis, and about 500 women showed up, and it was just
Wow.
unbelievable. I mean, I cried again. I cried 5 times yesterday, just because it's pure joy. And I have such a connection with each and every one of them. I hug every single one of them. And the girls in line behind the next one would say, when they got up to me, they said, did you know them? And I said, no, I didn't know them. It's just, I give one of those really hugs, hold you for seconds, and just ask about you and what are you doing. And they're just so sweet and genuine. And I say it's like a boomerang. Like, what I put out there comes back to me, and every woman I've ever met is someone that I would be friends with. It's so crazy. It's crazy, but I think when you put the good back out, good in the world, it will come back to you. And I think we just need more of that.
Absolutely. And I think that you are, one of the things that I believe is that people can spot fakes. People can spot when they're, just after something. And I feel like yours is you're very genuine. Like you said, you get up in the morning, you don't have you don't have makeup on, and you've got just, you're showing the good, the bad, the ugly, and the wonderful, and all the things. Like we keep saying, that, but it's
All the
true, all the
things.
things. So, and it's just it just comes so naturally to you. And I love that.
I think I'm just being me, and that is the only way I ever want to be. I don't really I don't care how big this gets or how big it doesn't get. I never intended it. I never set out for this to become a business, a brand. I never dreamt I'd be doing what I'm doing right now. I've always been like this, and I think that's what's so refreshing. Is I'll see a neighbor that I used to live next door to. I was 11 years old. Like, Landyn, you're just the same. Like, they just love that.
So, Landyn, when did you realize that your lifestyle blog and you as a public figure, because now you're like this public figure, were gaining momentum? Like, what was it that just you feel like it catapulted you into a bigger arena audience?
I think it was the Insta stories, which I might have mentioned earlier. That was something that Instagram introduced last August, and I didn't know what that was, but I just took a chance on it one day, and I said, "All right, guys, this is some Insta story, and we're supposed to just follow along with each other's lives, and let's just see how it goes." And they responded like crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that honestly is what happened. I think they loved me and they thought it was pretty and the Instagram was beautiful and the content on the blog was great. But like, you really got an inside look of me, my personality, my realness, my, vulnerability. I mean, I cry on there. I mean, everything. I mean, my husband will have surgery. Something will fall apart at my house. I mean, it's just daily life stuff. And I think taking them along with me is what they love. And I mean, if I go, this is really funny, but if I go, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours without posting something, like, we all just have like a moment where you get
Yeah.
caught up in something else. They're like, where have you been all day? I mean, they almost get mad when I don't post. So it can be silly stuff, like they just want to know. They're very curious, I think, of just this life. And I think they've become even more curious of like, and supportive of me. Last night I had so many women say, Landyn, I have followed you at 1,000 followers. Like, I have been with you from the beginning.
Wow.
I had a very touching thing happen to me last night, and I just started bawling like a baby. But they were in line to last night, and a woman and her daughter came up to me, and they brought a necklace with. And they said, "Do you remember this?" And it was a necklace that I kind of Instagram sold on my to afford to be able to do the website. And she says, "I bought this from you for $10, and I just want you to know how proud I am of you." And like, like, this $10 helped get to where you are, and I couldn't be here
Oh,
for you. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And she,
no.
she brought out the necklace, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally remember. And it's just things like that.
Oh,
And they're in my corner and they've been cheering me on. A lot of people would say,
mm-hmm.
why do you tell them when you fail? Why do you tell them when something in your business doesn't go well? Why do you tell them when you don't know how to do something? And I'm like, well, why wouldn't I tell them? Why? What is there to hide?
Yeah.
That's what I think what's wrong with this community of women. We're all in competition with one another, and I think need to be. There's so much room for all of us to be successful and all of us to
Mm-hmm.
be, we should be cheering each other on. I mean,
Amen.
we
Yeah.
really, really need to be doing that. And it's so powerful. And when you compliment a woman, I mean, have you ever been complimented in the grocery store about a top you have on, or, oh,
Mm-hmm.
those are cute boots? I mean, it'll put a little pep in your step and put a
Yeah.
smile on your face for the rest of the day. I think it's very important. So what I'm doing is I am one giant comment, meaning I am here to help you feel good, whether that
Yeah.
means getting a meal on the table or feeling good about your new lip color or a new paint that you're going to, paint your kitchen cabinets. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is, but that is what fills me, and that's what drives me, is just you feeling good,
Yeah.
me helping you. That's all I want to do, is help women. That's
And
it.
you are right there because you're helping, like you said, everything from cooking, how to make your life easier. And you know what I'm thinking, and this just came to me, it's kind of like the old school of my backdoor neighbor.
Yes.
Where you would get together. And so when I get up in the morning and I'm doing my stuff and I'm looking, I'm like, oh, what's Landyn doing? I want to, get my coffee. I don't drink coffee, but, get my drink and just kind of go, hey, what's she doing? And it's almost like a little chit chat, even though I'm not talking to you, you're just talking to me. But at the same time, we're learning from each other, or we're learning from
Yep.
you, and you're sharing some things about what's going on, like nail polish, like, oh, I think I will like that.
No, I love that little analogy that you just gave about a backdoor neighbor, because I really do feel like I would be your girlfriend. Everyone says, you don't know we're best friends, but we are. And I'm like, we are. I do know that. They say that to me all the time, and I said, I do know that. And I really, that's a perfect way to say it, because I am the friend that would walk into your kitchen and make myself comfortable and like grab a glass of wine and like sit on your kitchen counter and like talk to you, like, you know, good, bad, ugly, come over in my sweats, my zit cream, whatever. Like, I am just like, be comfortable, be yourself. And I get so many comments through direct messaging and emails just in that. It's just that exactly. And how comfortable they me. I mean, they are asking me things like, hey, I'm going on a trip. What do you think about this outfit? They'll send me their pictures in a dressing room, like, Landyn, should I get this scarf or this scarf? And I get up every morning at 5 a.m. to answer as many as I can back. It's
Wow.
something I'll never, ever let go of, because I
Mm-hmm.
just love the connection.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure, like when you meet people, like you said at the store, are you still complimenting strangers? Are you still striking up conversations with
Oh,
people?
yeah.
Even though they're
Yes.
not recognizing you, do you still go, hey, I love this microwave popcorn or whatever?
Yes, my favorite thing to do, and it comes so naturally. It's not like I'm trying to ambush anybody in the middle of the store or get all. I'll half the time even introduce myself. It's just like, that's helping in me. And
Mm-hmm.
like, they'll be standing there between two different, loaves of bread, and I'm like, have you tried this one? This one is so good. I love that, or something. And they'll walk away and they'll be like, thanks, and that's it. I'm not looking for anything out of it except for to help them. I knew they were indecisive. My favorite thing is to go to Marshall's. I love Marshall's and Home Goods and all that kind of fun
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And they'll be standing there between like two boots, and I will back my card up and be like, you know what, girl, I like the one on the left. You know what I mean? And they're like,
Yeah.
thanks. So it is funny. It's what I love to do. I think I have a job with to go around and just help people make decisions out in their regular life. I would totally do it.
Yeah, yeah. I could totally see you do that. Yeah. Let's just drive around. We'll just drive around and yeah, help people.
Yeah. Yeah, the help squad. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's the Red Cross for style, or I don't know. So we'll come up with something. 10 years ago, what would you have told Landyn? What would you have told her? Like, you need to start doing this right now.
You know what, though? I don't know, because I don't know if it would have been the right time. I was very happy to be home and able to home with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
So they're 13 and 10 now. And this really just came in the last year. I just turned 40. I think it's kind of funny because this blogging world is filled with a lot of, early 20s,
20s.
and I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely older girl on the block. But most of my following is in their 20s, crazy enough. And I have a big group of 35 to 45. But my 25-year-old market is really, really big on my analytics. I can kind of see, who's watching and such. And I think it's because they're looking to me as the older sister. Like, I just got married. I'm thinking about, my marriage and relationship with my husband and keeping that good. I'm just got my first home or my first apartment or my first job. So I need help, like, what am I supposed to wear to work? And I'm still fun loving and young at heart in a sense. I don't feel 40. So I think it's interesting just to see that that age group really look to me for advice, which
Mm-hmm.
is, and as far as telling myself what I would have told myself, I never ever set out to have a business. I thought I'd be a stay-at-home mom forever.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I really never dreamt of anything like this. And I think that's what's so beautiful about it is that I never set out like, okay, I want to, because coming with, when you say business, you think income, you think money, you think like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, how am I going to, I never thought about that. Never, never once. It becoming a business and a brand and these bigger brands wanting to work with me and that being the icing on the
Yeah.
cake, but that is not what I set out to do. And that to me is just like fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm able to put away a savings and do some stuff for my kids and, contribute to my family, which is something I never thought in a million years I'd be doing.
Yeah.
Ever,
And what
ever,
did your
ever, ever.
husband say? Was he like, holy cow, like you just took
He
off?
is, yeah, he's blown away. And I'm so happy to be home, raising my kids, putting a meal on the table.
Mm-hmm.
You'll know this about me because you follow me, but I am a 50s wife at heart. Like
I love
I
that. Mm-hmm.
that is the real me. I want my house put together. I want to look good, feel good. I want to put a meal on the table. I want everyone happy at home. We're big on dinner together around the table. That's something that I think is a lost art, and I feel like people don't do that and keep the foundation at home really solid, because I think if you do that, you can do anything. And that
Yeah.
just proves that my husband's so supportive of me. He will now fold laundry and be starting dinner because he knows I have something to
Oh,
do, and he knows I know, and he knows how
yeah.
passionate I am about it, and he's just so proud of me. And he just, I mean, it is the whole social media thing is just, it's
It
crazy to
is.
think how it is for all of us. I mean, it's changing the world, and to think that people across the country and in different countries, I have a huge following overseas, which is crazy.
Yeah, you
Really
need to
look to
go
me in that
overseas.
way.
That would be
I
awesome
know,
if
I
you could
know.
do that. Have like
That
a
would be
meetup
cool.
or in overseas. I'll have to tag along. I think I'll have to do that reporting.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, reporting live.
Well, and tell your husband we love him here in Nashville. He is a Tennessee Titan, so we're very proud of that. So we're excited that that y'all are here and that I guess that brought you here, right? To Nashville.
That initially did bring us here, yes, but he's since retired and now he's works as a scout for them. But he has hours that allow him to fill the void now. And it's fun. It's changing of the guard. It's totally different. It's neat the way we work, but we've been together since we were 14 in eighth grade, and we just
Wow.
have such a great story. That we've figured out we're a good team.
That's neat. I love, I think people crave that. They, like you said, the 20-year-olds that are looking, just getting married, they're looking to see, what other people are doing and
How do I
how
get that?
yeah, how do you get that great marriage? How do you get that, you know, um, meal on the table? And I think you're doing a great thing and it's just a great resource. And I think everyone should follow you. What,
Thank you. Thank you.
what is it that you love to do when you're just like want to kick up your feet and just relax? How does Landon relax?
Oh my gosh. I know how, I don't know. I know. I'm trying to decide if God's trying to tell me to slow down or see how much I can handle. I mean, he's really throwing a lot on my plate, but I count it as a blessing because I think, my gosh, I mean, all this crazy stuff is all good stuff. Like it's
Yeah.
all, I mean, my
Yeah.
life, I mean, I don't know if I can curse on here, but I always say like my life's a shit show. Like it's, it's every direction. I mean, it's all over the place. Like all of us, I don't claim to be any busier than the next girl. Um, when I kick back, I grew up in South Florida. I love the beach. I love sitting with my toes in the sand, just hearing the ocean. I don't get to do that as much as I'd love to. I love a spicy margarita. I love
Mm,
Mexican food.
that sounds
And I really
good.
just love hanging around with my family. Like my favorite thing to do is I get into bed early because I get up early, but like 9:30, my husband and I get into bed. We lay down, we hold hands. I know it sounds cheesy, but like we always grab each other's hand and we just there. We'll maybe kick back and watch one of a series that we've been just like getting in that bed and just like sigh of relief. Like, oh my gosh, okay, we did it today. Somehow we
Mm-hmm.
pulled it off. And
Yeah.
just kind of came back. I love my kids and my husband, and we are a foursome. We've lived in 9 homes. We've lived all over, coast to coast, and it's only been the 4 of us. And my kids get along really well. And honestly, there was a time up until a year ago, since my son was in a pack and play, so he was like 6 months old. The 4 of us took off and went on a road trip for 6 weeks every summer, and we just went all the world and the country, and it was beautiful and so fun. And I just love being with those people. Like those are my people.
Mm-hmm. So when you're having a crummy day, who do you call? Who do you call?
My mom.
Your
I call
mom.
my mom. I talk to my
Aw,
mom. Oh my gosh, I love my mom.
moms are
I
great.
talk to my mom probably 5 times a day on average.
That's
She's the
awesome.
first person I call in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
She's the first person I call when something great happens, the first person I call to bitch about something, the first person I call when something
Yep.
terrible happens. She is my girl. I mean,
Aw.
she's a very strong woman, and I come from a divorced family, and it was just nice since I was 2. And she's so courageous. And I think like now with a child and getting older, like the sacrifices she made, how I never knew we went without anything. She just never
Wow.
badmouthed my dad. I mean, she just was fantastic. I
Yeah.
mean, she just is amazing, and she is my person. And yeah, I got to call
Mm.
her. Actually, I didn't call her yet this
Yeah.
morning.
You better call. Put it down.
I
Yeah.
better call mama.
My mom's like that too. She's, my parents divorced when I was 3, and so it's just been her and I, and it's just been, I just, I just sing her praises because I'm like, how did you do that? And then, of course, now when you get older, you're like, oh, that's why when I went away to college, she was calling me at 7 a.m. in the morning. I was upset because she was calling me so early, but that's the only time she had to call me before her work day
Yeah.
started. And it's
Yep.
like
Yep.
things like that. I'm just like, I just love her more and more every year because I'm
And
seeing,
they're always mama, and we'll always be a mama. I mean, if you're
yeah,
fortunate enough to be a mom, what that feels like. And yeah, she's pretty awesome.
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
be her when I grow up.
You are her. I'm sure she's like, you are me. Okay, so here we're coming to the end. I'm going to do a lightning round with Landyn. The lightning round with
Oh,
Landyn. I wish I had
okay.
music, but I don't have any of that. So just really
All right.
quick. And you probably, I mean, you've already answered some of these already, so
Oh, sorry.
it'll just be
Okay.
redundant, but that's fine. That's
That's
fine.
me. I'm a talker. I'm a talker.
Okay, favorite cocktail.
Spicy margarita,
Okay, favorite
like
Nashville restaurant
jalapenos.
with jalapeno. Okay, favorite Nashville restaurant.
Little octopus. That's my fave right
I
now.
haven't tried that one.
Oh, it's so pretty in there too. It's
Oh,
so me. It's white and gold.
oh
That's it.
yeah. I need to check that out. Little Octopus. Movie you can watch over and over again.
Steel Magnolias.
Oh, that is a good
I
Southern
love
movie.
I listen, I am a sucker for a Southern movie. Fried
And
green
crying.
tomatoes. I mean, all of them. The Help, all of it. Love it.
Yeah. What about, this is a tough one. What about your house
Uh,
do you wish you could change, but you can't?
Um, I Okay, well, like it's an older home. It's 75 years old, and it doesn't have an entry, a foyer. For a southern home, that's kind of crazy. It kind of like the front door opens right into the living room. I wish I had a little more of a foyer, a little more of an entryway. Otherwise
Yeah.
it's like, hey, we're here.
It's kind of
But
like,
it's a
yeah, call it the goodbye room, because that's where you say your goodbyes. Like you kind of, because
yeah,
when you,
hug and
yeah,
say oh and this, that, and the other.
hmm
But yeah, we get right to it, and we say hello and goodbye in the same space. So
yeah, yeah. Okay, what magazine would you love to be featured in that you haven't already?
oh my you're so cute. How about Entrepreneur Magazine? Like, what if I did something really
Ooh,
crazy one day?
oh, that would be awesome.
I mean, I used to say Better Homes and Gardens or like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff or traditional home, but I've got
No,
not that
girl.
not saying like I've done that. I have done that, and it was awesome, and I'd do it 100 times again. I was so lucky to be featured in some of those, so that's been really fun. But yeah, I feel like now I'm just so proud of what I've done on my
Yeah.
own that I feel like I am like a girl boss. Like I feel like
hmm
I'm just living proof that you can do those kinds of things. So it would be really neat to be honored in that way or featured in that way, in that business sense, which I never imagined.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. True, true. Okay, vacation home. Would you choose lake, ocean, city, mountain, desert, country?
Cabo, Mexico. I love
Cabo,
Mexico. I love
Cabo
Mexico.
Beach to be exact. Yeah.
That's where I had my 40th birthday and lived my best life.
Oh, I watched that. That was awesome. That I
I
mean, I don't
know.
know how you
It
can
was
top
really
that when
something.
you turn 50. What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe do it all
sleep.
over again. Yeah.
Maybe sleep. No, that was awesome. Yeah. Favorite comfort food?
Comfort food. Gosh. I love soups.
Mm,
I love soups, and I love like crusty bread with butter.
hmm
So yeah,
That
that.
sounds good. Who do you most admire, dead or alive?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I think I have to go back to my mom. I think she was just a woman that entertained and did it with grace and was always happy to have people in her home and was proud of her home and just took pride in that. She was an excellent mother. Yeah, my mom. I mean, she just really taught me so much. And my grandmother, and she's still living. And I learned so many things for her. The way that I lived my marriage, the way I lived my life, the whole 50s wife thing. Like I just watched her
Hmm
with my grandmother, and I thought that is what I want.
Oh,
And yeah, so
that's
Jolene.
awesome. Yeah. So, what profession would you choose if you could not be a nurse? Which you said you were a nurse at one. You were a
I
nurse,
was
right?
yep, I was a nurse. Yep.
Or what you're doing now? What would you choose? If you could be anything.
Um, I think that gosh, that's hard. I love interior design. I actually set out to go to school for that before I went to nursing school. Um, and I just wanted to get right to the decorating part. I didn't want to kind of
hmm
go through all the rigmarole. So I was like, I don't know. And then I fell into nursing, just as a side job to make money, answering phones in the office, and it was kind of just one of those things. And then I was like, gosh, I just loved people and like helping and nurturing and taking care of kind of me into the profession. I loved it. I'm really good under pressure. So I worked in ER for a little bit and that kind of stuff. Then I worked in outpatient surgery, which was fun. And then I stayed home and had babies. But that I love like skin, like being a dermatologist. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I like there's so many things I would like to do.
Well, you're doing just about. I mean, you're
I'm
already doing
doing it.
the. Yeah, you're doing just about
I'm
everything.
doing enough right now. Slow down, Landon. This is all you can
Except
handle.
maybe. I mean, you're kind of doing the dermatologist stuff because you're telling people like what what
Yeah,
to
I guess. I
use.
guess I am. All the things that I want to be, I'm doing in some way. I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah, you're kind of
Yeah.
right, aren't you?
Yeah. So. Okay, so what is saving your life right now? Like,
I'm sorry, I
oh,
didn't hear you.
what is saving your life right now?
Oh my gosh, what is saving my life right now? Instacart grocery delivery. That's saving my life.
Oh yeah, yeah. So when you, I mean, this is just me. I'm wanting to know. So like you with the Instacart, do you like you're about to get on a plane and do you just sit there and go, okay, this is my recipe. I'm gonna plan this and then it gets delivered, or is that how you do it? Do you or do you keep
Oh
like
yeah.
a running
Okay, so
list.
Instacart, I'm going to tell you a couple things. I'm going to tell you a little secret with Instacart that I think people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Number one is when you first sign up, it's great. It's got a yearly membership. I think it might be $100, which is the free, delivery of groceries, which I'd pay
Wow,
that any day. That's
that's
awesome.
cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. Something like that. Don't quote me, but it's like that.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
once you set up your grocery list and you get like the milk you like to buy and the bananas and you get the cereal and the chicken breast or whatever you like, it saves
Mm-hmm.
that for you. So if you always buy your staples, that's always already in there. So you can go to like buy again. Then it will give you recipe ideas like, do you want tacos tonight? And it'll already have everything in your cart. If you click that button, it could be like, there's the shells, there's the cheese, there's the salsa. So awesome.
Wow.
Um, yeah, it's pretty cool that way. It's very time saving. But yes, within 2 hours. So, like, for instance, on Sunday morning, I will get up in the morning with my coffee, kind of plan out our week, and then I'll have it delivered that afternoon. So I have something for dinner that night and the rest of the week, which is awesome. It shows you pictures of everything. So you're not like guessing, are you going to get the right chicken breast? Like, it'll show you the actual items that you're going to be looking at in the store, not actual, but at least you can say like, oh, I love that organic chicken breast versus this one. And then there's the hidden little thing that I don't really love about it, but I figured I figured the way around, not around it. I just figured that it was an option you didn't have to. So there's a service charge on there, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
know why they do this. Kind of irritates me, but you do not have to pay that service charge. So there's a button that you unclick. It'll say service fee, and it almost makes it appear as if you have to pay that, but you don't. So you
Hmm.
unclick that because none of that money. I thought that money was going to the driver, or that's how they're
Yeah.
doing it, but it's almost just like a hidden fee. So you unclick that, and then I just tip my driver,
Yeah.
and I anywhere from, depends on what I get, from $5 to $10, something like
Mm-hmm.
that, and then I'm out the door. So it's easy peasy. Groceries get delivered up until like 10 o'clock at night, like as early as
Wow.
8 in the morning. Yeah,
And
it's awesome.
does
It's awesome.
Instacart go from um, one store to another can you order from two stores or just
Okay,
it all has to be
so
the same store?
for me, in Nashville, it's Publix, Whole Foods, and Costco. And so you would order like your Costco stuff, you'd order your Whole Food stuff if you needed something from every place, which I feel like I do half the time. I'm like, when
Mm-hmm.
are they going to make a grocery that has everything I need? Everything. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
but
Right.
yeah, so I'll have Costco, Whole Foods, and Publix all deliver within the same window of time. So I'm getting three stores at one time, not from the same driver, but it's all comes at the same time.
Oh, gotcha. So it's three separate orders, but you're just saying, okay, delivery
Yeah, but you're
time
not paying the
X.
same fee, you know what I mean? Because you've already paid. Yeah, so yeah, it works out pretty good.
So Landon, are you a spiritual person? Tell me about that.
I'm a believer in karma. I mean, I do, you know, I do talk to him and I think about things, and I'm very big on um yeah, like I said, the universe is loving Landon right now, and I believe in just karma and putting good out there. And I really am a strong believer in everything happens for a reason. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I think we need to remind ourselves things aren't going the way we think. There's a reason behind that. And so, I was raised Catholic. I'm not the best about going to church as much as I should. My grandmother would be so angry with us, I pray, I'm grateful, I talk to him a lot. I think about my life, and I'm pretty certain he knows how appreciative I am and just how grateful I am for everything that's come my way. But yeah, in a sense of just like believing in the universe and like how things are going down and the people that are walking into my life and the by chance meeting I've had with different individuals that have set me on a different path. So I guess yes, in that sense that I am spiritual and thinking that, what's going on in my life is supposed to be happening,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of taking those cues.
I'm a believer too, and I think in God and in Jesus, and I think his commandment. I mean, this is just how I interpreted his commandment was to love your neighbor. And so, like, what a
Yeah.
better way to love your neighbor than to empower them with things that will add and to help them just function and be the best that they can be. And that's really kind of why I follow you, because I'm thinking if I can make a better meal tonight and an easier one where I can spend time with my son, then, you know, I'm great. I'm good to go. And you're giving that to, I feel like you're giving that to your audience and your followers. So I think that's loving. I
Yeah,
think that's loving people.
it is loving people. And I really, really do love these women. And I think that and they'll tell me that too. I had a woman at my show in Nashville, my Living with Landyn live show. And they, a woman said, "You have no idea how you got me through my postpartum, or you have no idea how you changed my way of thinking, or I was in a spot in my marriage where I wasn't sure, but you helped me see the positive and just think about differently and love him differently." And I really do believe that I have come into these women's lives and I'm doing what I'm doing now because people needed me. And it is that by chance, maybe the lady at the grocery store said, "You've got to follow this Living with Landyn, kind of thing." And I think it just, yeah, and they'll say the same thing to me, like, "You came into my life at the perfect time." And so I am a believer in that we're all our paths are meant to cross at some point with one another. Not saying mine's meant to cross with anybody in particular, but just like I think people come into lives when they're supposed to.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's true. So what is your favorite app? You have an iPhone. So
Waze.
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 Oh, that Waze.
The traffic app?
Yes.
Waze, Waze. I use Waze every single day, even if I know exactly where I'm going, because avoid traffic. Like, it will take you through a parking lot of a shopping center to avoid a red light. Like, it's amazing. I use it. Wow. Oh, yeah. I use it to go get my kids from like a practice or something. I'm like, oh gosh, what if there's an accident on West End? Like, what do I do here? And it'll reroute me through a neighborhood. I mean, I'm just moving and grooving, and everybody's yeah, it's awesome. And it's kind of navigated other drivers. So if they see a cop, they'll let you know, or if there's a car over on the side of the road, or a tire in the road, or just traffic accident, whatever, you have a place in there where you can say things like that, and then it's all kind of run by all of us. So it's like a little collaboration of people looking out for one another. It's awesome.
I've used it not in the city, but I hear that is the thing to do, especially for those of y'all who are not in Nashville. We have just been growing by leaps and bounds. So there's like 10 times more cars on the highways than there were 3 years ago. And so I really have to use all my back roads now to get places. So I can see where Waze. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, get that on there. It's a lifesaver.
Well, Landyn, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited that we finally got together. Yeah. I know I've just been a crazy woman, but I'm happy to have been. I'm excited to meet some of your followers, and it'll be fun. And so thanks for having me on.
I love that you are, like I'm doing, empowering women. I mean, you're empowering them in a different way than I am with Rising Stories, but you are just a great asset, and anyone who finds you, it's just, you're a gem. It's awesome. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for doing what you do. I mean, I think we all have a gift and something to give back. And I think if you just find that passion or what fulfills you, put it out there. I mean, good like come back, and I'm happy to be in the position that I am and have the platform that I have to help women. So it's pretty exciting time for me. The universe loves Landyn right now. So
yes, we all do. We all do. Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, what a great pep talk she gave there at the end. We all have something to contribute to this world and the people we come in contact every day. Landyn is one of a kind and has such a wonderful heart. I love chatting with her. I hope you enjoyed this interview. You can follow Landyn on Instagram and by visiting her website, livingwithlandyn.com. I hope you've enjoyed the first episode of my new season. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button because you don't want to miss my next Nashville series interview with one of Landyn's go-to people, Lori Paranjape. And don't forget to take advantage of your free session with the folks at Career Focus for You. Their number will be in the show notes and on the description box on iTunes. You can always message me for more information. Please consider supporting Rising Stories podcast by purchasing books and products mentioned on the show with the links provided in the show notes. Thanks for listening and keep rising in your story.